All right, welcome in, welcome in. This ought to be good. I'm your host, DJ Mordecai. We got my good friend and special guest, Oxygen, MC, DJ, vinyl enthusiast, right here in the flesh.
Yeah.
Well, in the
What's up?
virtual flesh. What's up, Oxygen? How you doing, buddy?
Chilling. I'm chilling. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Spectacular.
Thanks for being on the program today. We're going to be doing a little interview.
Right on.
Oxygen tells me he doesn't do these too often.
Mm-mm.
So you're getting a little exclusive here. Shout out to White Said. Shout out to my mod, Data Man Zen in the house.
Peace, peace. What up?
Big
My
up.
man Josh. What up, kid?
So, kicking off the interview, where were you born and where did you grow up?
So, I'm just gonna claim Long Island, man. I'm from Long Island, New York, Suffolk County, South
Were you
South
born in
Shore.
Long Island?
Yeah, I'm gonna say I was born in Long Island. How about that? I was born in Long Island. That's all I know. So yeah,
We're dodging question one already. All right.
yeah, you know what I'm saying.
All right. Can you take us back to your early days on Long Island? Like, what was the music scene like and how did it shape your sound and style?
Oh man, music scene was incredible. I I'm the youngest of six. I grew up with all older sisters, and so their musical taste was impeccable. So it was like from all the soul to jazz to funk, everything from the '70s, late '60s. My mom was into gospel real heavy, so there was a lot of gospel in the house, and so Long Island in general, Long Island's a melting pot of everybody. So we had every race, every ethnicity. You know what I'm saying? It was very diverse. I grew up with a lot of rock and roll, a lot of psych rock, a lot of 80s new wave, new age. You know what I'm saying? So it was just beautiful, beautiful scene, man.
Describe Long Island for people that haven't been there or don't know about it. Like, what is it like? Is it a city? Is it a town? Is it
No,
country, suburban?
yeah, very suburban. Um, so my area, I was in a town called North Babylon, which is almost to the border of Nassau and Suffolk County. Nassau County, that's Hempstead and Freeport, Roosevelt, those towns like that, where Public Enemy and MF Doom and them guys, they came from that area. But once you came into Suffolk County, it was a little bit more trees. You know what I'm saying? It was a little bit more
Can
suburban.
can you take the
Um,
train into the city or do you have to take a
you
ferry or both? Or
you can't take the train. We had Long Island Railroad, and you know, a lot of cars, a lot of buses. So yeah, it was easily accessible to get everywhere. And we
is
had
that
the
that?
beach, which is really
Mhm.
nice. You
Is
know.
it that LIRR or LIR?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. Long Island Railroad. LIRR. Took the
Um,
LR, but I didn't have a ticket. I'm sorry, guys.
no, you're good. It's very, very free and loose and open. So whenever you feel like going off on a tangent, feel free.
No doubt. I'm random like that.
That's good, and I appreciate that. Where did the name John Shaft the Psychopath come from?
John Shaft, the psychopath. Oof. Wow, you took it back. That was I don't know. Oh, okay. So mainly because I was a fan of the movie Shaft, so John Shaft naturally, but the spelling of it um was my man LB Bad. Rest in peace to him. He was my earliest producer. You
He
know,
rocks the house. Yeah,
yeah, my man LB.
rocks
Um,
the house.
and it was his idea to um the spelling of it. He wanted to make it more universal. You know what I'm saying? So um, we kind of added the Z in it and kind of made it one word instead of two words, John Shaft. So, and then the psychopath, that was just crazy. I had a lot of issues back in the day. I was a crazy kid. So,
What were those issues?
behavior stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Were you
Went to,
really psychopathic or?
nah, I wasn't. I mean, Not that I know of.
What do you think it was? ADD, ADHD,
Nah, it was just a product of my environment. You know what I'm saying?
troublemaker.
It was a lot of home life stuff. It was a lot of things going on in the crib that you know kind of making me nuts. But yeah, I kind of yeah I was
Five sisters.
yeah I was kind of a problem child in school though. I was always in school suspension and disrupting the class and making people laugh and stuff like that. So yeah, just a class clown.
Did John
But
Shaft the psychopath ever have a logo?
mm. No,
No.
no, we need one. Shit, I could bring them back
What
for
was it
sure.
like hearing Groove to Get Down on DJ Murrow and K Prince, WKOD,
Wow.
1155 4 FM, the golden era of hip hop mix?
Yeah, that was incredible. Um, how did I find out about that?
I felt like
Um,
I felt like I heard it and said, "Is this you?" And you were like,
mm,
"Nah, I don't think so." And then I think I
no,
kind of listened to it some more and was like, "Dude, this is you." And you were like, "Really?"
I, I guess that's how it happened. I don't know. I can't remember. I thought it was somebody from overseas, like my man Dino, Kid Dino.
Mhm.
Somebody mentioned it to me, and then I actually wasn't even familiar with DJ Muro at that point. To be honest with you, like I didn't really know. So yeah, it was just a great honor, man. Great honor.
He was like, or still is like self proclaimed, right? King of digging out of Japan. And then K Prince, he was or still is head of like, is it BBP?
Um,
Or am I getting that mixed
yeah,
up?
nah, it's Koji. I don't know if he's the head of. Yeah, is he the head? You know, I never
Involved
asked.
in, maybe. Let's
Yeah,
say
he's
involved in.
yeah BBP.
But what
Yeah,
was it like hearing that in the mix? Like, some, because at that point it was what, 10, 15 years in the past, right? Maybe at least. Was it that
um,
far?
yeah. Wow. I mean, when I heard it, it was like 2012ish, 13 or something.
Hmm.
I don't even know how old the mix is, but yeah, it was kind of bugged out. I couldn't figure out how they found that record of all records too, because it was a B-side of some house music, and yeah, it was just kind of weird to have something like that in that kind of mix.
Yeah,
But
Discog says it came out in 2003,
okay,
and then it
yeah,
was Prince of Dance Music, right? Was the EP?
yeah. So LB Bad, the Prince of Dance Music, was the producer, and the A side was all Prince of Dance house stuff on the EP, and
Hmm.
then the B side was me, Groove to Get Down, and I think we had Come and Get It was another track
Hmm.
that we did, and yeah, it was just again, it was just one of those like, how the hell did they find this record? You know what I'm saying? Out of all records to put on a mix, but it happened, and I'm grateful, man. It catapulted a lot of attention from everybody, especially Japan. I get a lot of love in Japan and the UK and Europe and stuff like that. So yeah, it was just remarkable.
Had you
Jay,
been featured on mixtapes before that?
no, not at all. That was Groove to Get Down was my second record. So before that, it was just another hip house track I was doing. That came 1990 with I Get Lifted was that track. So
Hmm.
yeah, prior to that, there was nothing else that I recorded that was on any mixes because I didn't really have anything out. But yeah, man, it's just to this day, it's still kind of I listen to the mix, man, just kind of bugs me out.
Hmm.
I got a funny story too. That's actually how I met Edon.
Mm.
Not how I met him, but it was kind of a funny story that I was in, what was it, Academy Records in Brooklyn when they were in the old location in Brooklyn, and Edon was there, and I actually thought he was Peanut Butter Wolf when I
Hmm.
seen, because I didn't know what, I heard of Edon, but I didn't know what he looked like.
Hmm.
So I seen uh I seen him across the way. He kept looking at me, and I was looking at him, and I look down, flip through some records, or whatever. I look up again, he's staring at me. I'm like, oh, what's this dude?
Hmm.
So I approached him as I was checking out, and then I said, "Yo, are you Peanut Butter Wolf?" He was
Hmm.
like, "Nah, he's actually a good friend of mine." He said, "My name is Edon." I was like, "Okay, yeah, yeah, I heard of your stuff." He's like, "Who are you and what are you doing?" Stuff. So I introduced myself. I was Oxygen at the time, and then I told him I MC. And I had records. Um, Back in the early '90s, I had one a John Shaft record,
Maybe
and
you've heard of it, Edon.
and he knew. He started kicking the verses. Oh yeah, yeah, I heard that on the KOD mix. It was like hip hop fanatics feel the postman on the drown and this Long Island stuff.
Hmm.
It went through the whole first verse. I'm like, yo, fam.
Yeah, he's
Like,
big on the fast rap, and that was definitely an upbeat, up tempo track.
yeah. But for him
That's
to
dope.
recite the lyrics though, I was like, this dude is next level. So it was like, yeah, come on to the crib. And that's how he and I started, doing stuff together and touring and shit. So
Hmm.
yeah, big shouts to Edon, man.
Yeah, big up the humble magnificent. I think I ran into him when he was promoting Drop Some Smooth Lyrics
Mm,
2001, I think, around that time, because I want to say he was either giving them out or selling them at like
okay.
a All Elements like hip hop festival that we did down in
Mm,
Richmond. Um, so I wanted to talk a bit about you've kind of endured lots of loss, both parents. Recently, your older sister lost her battle with
mm,
cancer, and we've lost some inspirations as well, such as Biz
yeah.
Markie and Clef Dollars, mutual connection. How do you cope, and what's some advice you have for someone kind of going through
Ooh,
those kinds of things? Yeah, no, kind of a
man.
big one. So I wanted it towards the beginning rather than towards the end. The end
Yeah,
of it.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's I'm still coping, man. It's been since well, my dad, he died 2003. Shortly after that, I moved back to New York to take care of my mom,
Mm,
which she started getting signs of dementia and stuff like that. So I went home to take care of her. And eventually she passed in 2019. She died actually right as I was putting out my album, Age Appropriate.
mm.
And that
And
it
she's
kind of
on the cover, right?
no, that was my dad on the cover. The picture, my dad, me and my sister. Yeah, and then yeah, so
Oh,
kind of
okay.
through
I think I'm
yeah,
thinking of the remix project. Sorry.
okay, right, right. Yeah, so the album dropped on my birthday, which is August, and she passed away in May.
Mm,
So right as I was prepping to, release the album, she died, and um, I actually lost three sisters in that time. So um, 20, 2019, my other sister
mm,
passed. No, my sister passed before my mom. Wow.
mm,
Yeah, that was early 2018, 2019. She died. My mom 2019, and another sister with cancer 2020. A couple of brother-in-laws in between then, and then my sister a couple of weeks ago,
mhm,
my older sister.
mm,
She was the oldest, and she was battling cancer and went on.
mm,
But yeah, man, just I can't even tell you because it's been like I don't get a chance to process one before it's something else. So I really haven't. I mean, it kind of hit me a little bit, but it really hasn't hit me that
mhm,
majority of my immediate family, like all of them, it's just me
mhm.
and I have one sister left.
Well, I know you post a lot about trying to maybe rebuild or repair bridges, with family members, and
Hmm.
definitely,
Yeah,
read your posts about you going to visit your parents' grave sites, and then how that kind of inspired. I think you said your supervisor to kind of reach
yeah.
out and maybe reconnect or rekindle with
Hmm.
another family member. So definitely wanted to say I appreciate. I find a lot of what you say in your actions inspiring. So just want
Oh,
to
thank
mention
you, man.
appreciate
Yeah.
that. It's nice to like, I know it's a tough time, but to like have some positivity, or like I said, like advice, or
Hmm.
life lessons. Like, so much of social media is just flooded with garbage. So
Yeah.
it's nice to like get something positive and inspiring. So
Right on, man. Yes, it's oxygen. That's what
exactly
it's
right,
about.
part of
It's
the
my
brand.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so let's move on to something a little bit later. So as both a DJ and an MC, how do you balance those two roles, like in your performances, and do you find that they inform each other creatively? I would think yes, but kind
Hmm.
of want to
Yeah,
know.
yeah, absolutely. Especially on the timing side of being an MC. Um, just being a DJ helps a lot with that. Um, but yeah, hold on one second.
Hmm.
I think my bud is slipping out. Yeah, but what was I saying?
Which was first for DJing or MCing? Like, which did you really take more seriously first, or did they both
DJing.
constantly
Yeah,
kind of DJing?
DJing. Even as an MC, I was kind of thrust into MCing, man. Like, I guess people. I have my dad's voice, so you know, it was just one of them. I was into poetry. I wrote a lot of poetry back in school, and the MCing didn't really kind of click. I started writing in '84 when I was like 14, but I wasn't really trying to be an MC, man. It was just something that we did, and all the other crew that was around me, we all did multiple things anyhow. So as one would get on the turntables, the other would MC, and we just kind of did everything, be
Well,
one.
mhm. What was inspiring to you to kind of MC at that time? Was it um, Rapper's Delight, or King Tim the Third, or was it Run DMC? I know Sucker MCs. It's like that. Were big influences for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, definitely radio, New York radio in general was popping. You know what I'm saying? We had, the BLS with Mr. Magic and Molly Mall and Kiss, all in them. And college radio was really, really great back then.
But
But
commercial radio at first wasn't really playing hip hop, right? Like, it was kind of more towards like late night or overnight, or like you said, the
right.
college stations, right?
Yeah, mostly late night. Um, uh, Thursday nights or during the weekend, there'll be shows and stuff. But
Were you
um,
getting tapes before like it was really becoming popular on the radio? Because I know, you know, you had
I, I
Crash
started
Crew, Furious Five, and those early tapes kind of floating around.
Yeah, I started with the tapes. My man Takeem, who was my rhyme partner in high school, like 85, 86, I started getting more into the tapes and collecting, the park jams and stuff like that. He was from the Bronx, so he brought a lot of stuff to Long Island. And I was, dubbing tapes from him, and yeah. But yeah, that was a big inspiration. But yeah, by 84, it was 84, 85 was, I mean, neighborhood stuff. Rakim was doing backyard parties. We had, you know, just a lot of inspiration in the neighborhood, a lot of different
Mhm.
DJs. And we had the next town over was Wine Dance, where Rakim was from. They had there's a yearly thing called Wine Dance Day in the park that goes on. So, yeah, there'd just be a variety of DJs and MCs that come out and rock and stuff. So, yeah, man, as a shorty, it was just a lot of inspiration on Long Island in general. And then like Crash, Cold Crush and them guys, they used to come out. too, and do a lot of jams on Long Island. So
Mm.
yeah, it was always something going on.
Were there any DJ crews that you remember from that time? Like, really early, especially for Long Island, or maybe
Um,
that you heard on tapes?
yeah, like DJ Fantasy Incorporated was a big one. They were a big inspiration. They used to rock on the next block from my house.
Is that
So,
Fantasy 3? It's Your Rock? That no,
mm,
different. Okay.
DJ Fantasy, was another cat, Marvin, and it was a little crew of them that used to get down. But yeah, as far as like organized crews, it was mainly them.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm,
I remember from back then.
mhm.
Might be a couple further out east and stuff like that, but yeah, in my immediate neighborhood, there was them.
So record digging is a big part of your identity as an artist. What draws you to like that aspect of like, I guess, the culture or music exploration? Do you have any like memorable finds or stories from your digging adventures?
Billions.
I know you have. I think it's the record with the Philmos Chill. You kind of go through
Mhm.
a story on there. How much of that one is true, or like
On the
embellished, or a
house,
combination of stories?
yeah, that was completely fake. Golden Crown, I just fed off of what his verse was and kind of continued it on. Just wanted to add a little different thing to it, being that my verse was in the middle of the song. But
What
yeah,
was the
that
record you had with the like look like a gypsy like kind of ball on the cover? I want to say like Premonitions or something like that.
oh
Premonitions, man.
yeah, that's my brother-in-law's group. Yeah, the Premonitions was a funk band out of Long Island that my brother-in-law James, he was the bass player in the group. So yeah,
Did you
again,
find it in Long Island or out of state?
so nah, those man, I've had three of those in the past. Um,
When you first found it, you recognized his name or knew it was his
oh yeah,
band, or
yeah, absolutely. Actually, one of the copies were in the family. I don't know if my mom's had it or somebody had it, and yeah, I had that copy, and then I found a couple more out there. I think I bought one from Academy too. They had one on the wall, and I wound up copying one. But yeah, I've had it quite a few times.
what made you get into digging?
Um, my mother, my mom, she was always getting records. you know, I was always with her. Back then we had like TSS was one of the big stores on Long Island. So we used to go shopping at TSS. I would get some records. We also had Paradise Records, which was a local shop that my sisters, they would actually buy me, 45s and stuff like that to start my collection. But
Mhm.
once I knew what I was into, I would just, get out and randomly find a lot of stuff. So yeah,
Your
it just
mom was
continued.
buying gospel records and
Yeah,
paying,
my
paying
mom.
for whatever you wanted, maybe a record or two.
Mhm. Oh yeah, yeah. My mom's mainly my sister. My sister Grace, she was a big one that that would buy me a lot of records back then. I think the first what was my first record? It was like Lady B to the Beach All.
Hmm.
Um it was Gonzalez, Haven't Stopped Dancing Yet. I don't know why I like that record so much, but yeah,
Hmm.
Gonzalez for some reason.
Did your
It was-
sisters get into DJing or hip hop at all? Or
No, but a couple of my brother-in-laws, they were into DJing. I had a cousin, whose husband Vic, he was one of the local DJs too, and he would do a lot of family functions and stuff like that, and cookouts and things. But yeah, he's one of the first ones I remember that had techniques and stuff like that, rocking. And then big ups to my man Greg Rawls. I gotta shout him out too. Greg, rest in peace, man. He was one of my sister's best friends. and he's actually the one that let me touch the turntables back then.
Mm.
You know, and he emceed a little bit too, so he would come and bug out with us on the corner. You know, when we'd be out there with the boom box, and he would come drop some verses or whatever. But yeah, big shouts to Greg Rawls, man. He was my biggest inspiration coming up. You know,
How did it feel to touch the decks or to get like Lady B like to the beach y'all?
man, that Lady B. It was just something about that record, man. It was I gravitated towards that and like Spoonie G, Spoon and Rap.
Mm-hmm.
Before um, Sugar Hill Gang and all
Mm-hmm.
them commercially tight records, man. It was just
Mm-hmm.
something about the bounce of that doom, 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 the bass. I always like the bass lines on joints. So yeah, that
Was
felt
Lady
good.
B was Lady B from Philly or was it just recorded and put out by a Philly label? Because that's
Yeah,
1979.
yeah, I believe she is from Philly.
TEC out of Philly.
Yeah, she's a radio host, radio DJ out there too. So yeah, Lady B is from Philly.
Shout out to Senior Oteb checking in
Oh,
and
Ted,
J1 son.
what up?
How did you hear Lady B, or it was just you kind of knew it was a hip hop record when you saw it, or like your sister thought, hey, you might like this?
Um, mm, I must have heard it beforehand. Maybe it was like I was telling you, my cousin's husband, Drake, he might have played it at a jam. I was familiar with the record before I got it, definitely.
Hmm.
Excuse me. And yeah, once I was able to get my hands on a copy, I got that.
Do you remember what year was that in '79 or later?
Yeah, it had to be 79, 78, 79.
Hmm. Yeah, it says it came out in '79, so I'm guessing yeah '79.
Yeah.
My first record was Foreigner, so Lady B
All
is
right.
much cooler first record.
Oh yeah.
Um,
It's dope too, man. Don't sleep.
Tell us about Sputnik Brown if you don't mind.
I could tell you everything about Sputnik Brown. Those my brothers, man. Um
How to come together.
Sputnik was it was a birth of so DCNY was a group with my man Musa and his cousin Trey. Dreddy, what up, kid? Um, so they were DCNY. When I How did we get Sputnik Brown? So when I moved back to New York, after my dad passed, I reconnected with Musa, and I don't even we weren't really in the group yet. I was just recording some stuff with him, and he was playing some beats for me, and we wound up um, recording "You Having Fun Yet." I think I wrote it. I wrote it without a beat. So then, when he was playing me the beat, I just started emceeing, and it was perfect for it. So from there, we just kind of started building the group, I guess. And so he had another partner that he was connected with out there, E the Fifth, who was a producer, and then E had Slim, which was MC that he was working with. So we all kind of just joined forces and just started working on beautiful music, man. It's just a love Sputnik Brown, man. Sput was really dope. That was a great experience. But yeah, so that's Sputnik Brown. We
Did y'all release any 45s? I think you did. You having fun yet on 45? Yes.
that was that. Yeah, I dropped that later, but we did the 12-inch of You Having Fun Yet. It was an EP with 3 tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, the Brown Out, You Having Fun Yet, and Unadulterated.
Mm-hmm.
Was Brown Out on it? Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It was Unadulterated was on that too.
Mm-hmm.
Featuring Side Martial Law. Big up to Side Martial Law.
Yeah. See,
But
three shades of black. You having fun yet? And that Brown Underground EP 2012 on Diggers with Gratitude.
yeah. So yeah, that kind of came out when the group dissolved. We had and that's not even that wasn't even a complete album. So with the split of Sputnik Brown, unfortunately, you know, it was kind of like two different factions. So all the stuff that Edith Fit produced back then, we didn't get a chance to put on that project. You know what I mean? So, um, but man, I wish some people know about the full album. I used to leak a lot of tracks when I was doing college radio back in those days. So you would hear, you know what I mean, different joints off the album. But yeah, if that album would have dropped, it would have been a problem. It was would have been would have been a problem.
Big up to Sputnik Brown, and you having fun yet? Love those.
Uh,
You released several 45s and tapes throughout your career. What drives you to continue releasing music in those formats? And do you have any favorite projects that you've worked on beyond Sputnik Brown?
well, as a record collector, I just wanted to have tangible things out. Always want to drop vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what I mean, even as I was getting into the late '80s, early '90s, that was just the goal to have a piece of vinyl that you could hold on to. And yeah, the cassettes. I mean, I'm a boombox collector. You might see a couple behind me, but
Mm-hmm.
in this room, there's tons of radios. So I always like you know cassettes and stuff like that. And then what was the second part of the question? What
Any favorite projects like you've worked on?
man? Shoot, all of them. Man, everything, man, because everything I dropped was at different points in my life. So it was like from the early stuff to Sput to the singles in between and to Sound Side. Like the Sound Side experience was something different, man. It was just all of them, man. I just love everything.
Can we talk about Soundside for a minute? I don't really have a particular question about that, but since we kind of walked through a little bit of Sputnik Brown history,
Mhm.
can you kind of talk about Soundside and
Yeah,
how that came together?
yeah. So Sound Side, um, again, this kind of all ties into when I was doing college radio. I had a show called Chemical Breakdowns at the University of Stony Brook on Long Island, and like I say, I would play a lot of music that I was recording and working on at times, and the show was actually streaming. This is back when streaming was kind of early, so we would stream right from MySpace, and a lot of the listeners that used to listen in, my show was so late that they would just be getting up, in the UK and Europe and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it caught the attention of Johnny Cuba and Ali Tiba, who are the two producers of Soundside, you know, about what I was doing and stuff like that. And they were familiar with Sputnik Brown.
Mm-hmm.
But as as Sputnik Brown kind of came to an end, I started doing a little bit more features. So I wound up getting a feature on something that they were working on. Um which album was that? I think we did a single first and a flash single, which turned into it, you know, we dropped the album the next year.
I
So
see a Dig for Victory EP came out in like 2009,
yeah, so I came after Dig for Victory.
and then in a flash with a U George Claxton session on the B side in 2011,
Mhm.
and then
Right,
Formula 99 dropped in 2012.
right. Yeah, so Formula 99, I was actually officially part of the group and at that time. So yeah, just transitioning, man. Just staying active and doing as much as I can because I was taking care of my mom, man. It was like it was a tough situation because I couldn't um I couldn't do things the way I wanted to do them, but the little bit that I could do, it kept me sane during that time. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was just a lot going on, man. I'll take none of it back, but Yeah,
You talked about with Sputnik Brown, sort of two factions kind of splitting as part of like the dissolving of that group. Was there
mm,
something similar happen with Soundside, or what happened with
mm.
Soundside?
Nah, with Southside. So, all right. So, man, it's kind of. So, what kind of happened with Soundside was I don't know if it was my decision to stop emceeing at that time, where it kind of lost momentum, but um, I can't remember which tour it was. So it came to a point when I was in New York before I moved down here to Atlanta, where I was actually kind of homeless a little bit. So I was, wasn't able to stay in the home that we grew up in, and I wound up um, staying with friends,
Yeah,
sleeping on couches and stuff like
couch
that.
couch surfing. Hmm.
Yeah. So it was one of the tours that we went, we did out in the UK with Soundside, and then when I came home, I realized I didn't have any home to come home to. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of,
Hmm.
it was, a little reality check. I was like, damn, we did all this fly shit. You know what I mean? And I made money or whatever, but it just wasn't enough.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I made the decision to kind of just put the mic down, man, and just get my life in order. For me, because it was, at that time my mom was still getting progressively worse, and she was in a nursing home by then, and I just had to make some grown man decisions, man.
Hmm.
So after that, it just seemed like um, nobody else wanted to keep the group going on. So yeah, I think that was kind of the end of that. But big shout out
Um,
to Outside, man. Those are my brothers, man. To this day, no love lost. No love lost with anybody, man. Just
we've talked a little bit about you moving. So moving can be like a significant change. How has your relocation to Atlanta influenced your artistic perspective and like career trajectory?
it's been great. Yeah, it's been there's still a lot of creativity going on here, and a lot of guys that I knew from back home are here. John Robinson and Jay Live is here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just still very inspirational. Even though I don't MC, I'm enjoying hearing what they're creating and feeding off that energy. But
Was wasn't part of Soundside from Atlanta too?
yeah, Odyssey. Yep, big shouts to Tone and you George is here. You know, yep. So the core is still in effect, man. Still my brothers, but I just had to, and at that point, I just felt like I said everything I needed to say. You know, I just, I don't know.
What
I just said everything
um
I needed to say, man.
they were part of Mass Influence, right?
That
Odyssey
was
and
Odyssey,
you
yeah.
George. Was you George part of it or no?
Nah, you George was with the Hemisphere.
Oh, okay.
It's a group called the Hemisphere.
Mhm. Yeah, I remember that.
Yes.
Remember that
Yep.
name. So we've talked a little bit about groups that you've been a part of, like collaborations often, play a key role in like an artist journey. What are there any collaborations or partnerships that have been particularly meaningful to you beyond we've talked about Soundside and Sputnik Brown. We
Hmm.
did mention Edom, but we didn't really talk about your collaborations necessarily.
Yeah. I mean, mostly that collaboration was mostly touring. It wasn't
Hmm.
so much recording. We did the one thing that the practice cassette for a show. I did an in store, which he was the DJ for, and then we wound up putting one of the songs from my practice session on the flip side of the Sputnik Brown 45. So when I put, you having fun yet out back on 45, um, that Edon joint is on the flip side of that. But yeah, man, as far as like collaborations, the Rampage is definitely with Phil Most and M Ski and Joe Ron Bombay. That's definitely some of my favorite stuff. Um, and working with Dr. Beckett too. Big
Hmm.
Doc. Yeah, man. You know, wherever he is right now.
Yeah,
Big
where
shout.
is Dr. Beckett? Big up Dr. Beckett.
No idea, man. Yeah, he kind of fell off the face of the earth. But
If he's out there, hit us up. We
yeah,
love
man.
man.
Definitely hit me up. I got the same number, kid. Like same number since 2000 something, 2003.
So
But
the E Dante those days before it happened, that was at Academy, like in store practice session, right?
yeah, yeah, that was fun, man. That was a lot of fun. That's
And
when I
then
got to do the infamous needle drop and rhyme at the same time thing. Yeah.
the Rampage stuff that's more recent, right? Is there going to be more from the Rampagers or?
Oh man, I would like to do some more. Shoot. We did record some other stuff. There's a few more songs in the bag, you know, but as far as um singles, yeah, we just put out the few that on the B sides of Joe Run stuff. You know what I mean? And then I think Diggers with Gratitude, they put something on on the track on the album or whatever. But yeah, man, be cool to have.
Who's who's leading the Rampagers efforts? Is it Joe Run?
That would be Joe Run, yeah. So
So he kind of
you'll
put
have
y'all
to,
together.
yeah. So we got together. Um, how did that happen? Yeah, because I know we did the DWG. We were like the DWG Rampages, Diggers with Gratitude.
Hmm.
And we started off doing like we flipped like cover songs. We did like Rampage of EPMD's over and something, one of those some kind of things. But Joe Run, he was kind of affiliated with Diggers with Gratitude at the time. And yeah, we just joined forces, man. Started getting down, doing some creative stuff. But yeah, it's been a fun journey, man.
Yeah, I'd love to hear more from them. It sounds like, from what
Mhm.
I've heard of that stuff, like I really like how that's sounding. Would love
Yeah.
like a full album or more. Um,
Hmm.
Getting into your DJ sets, we talked a lot about the MC and stuff. How
Hmm.
do you approach like curating a set and like what do you hope your audience takes away from your performances or DJ sets?
Uh, a lot of them, I ain't gonna lie to you, they just freestyle because I just grab records, man. Whatever. And my sets, they a lot of times they change right before the gig. So I try not to pull early and plan too much in my head because they never work out. So whenever you come see me play, it's usually kind of off the rip. You know what I mean? I don't practice sets here and do stuff like that. If it's a blend or something, with an acapella and a beat, it's just on the fly. But I just want people to feel good, man. Take away just feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that my man Bruce, big shouts to Bruce Phillips, one thing that we try to do at the end of each gig that we do, we play 30 minutes of just slow jams right before people go home. So that's been a big thing. You know what I mean? Just
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
having people feel good, man, and leave in peace.
Yeah, I like to finish with the Freddie Scott. You got what I need.
Yeah. Okay.
Get everybody finishing on a high note.
Yeah. A lot of mine here. I usually drop Houdini One Love. Regardless of if I'm playing funk, soul, hip hop, whatever, I would toss that on. Because it just feels good. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful ass record.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I want to jump back a minute to like favorite finds or
Hmm.
digging stories. When we first met, I feel like it was in the Plan 9 basement, and I
Hmm.
was pulling maybe dollar bin breaks, and
Yeah.
you were
You
like, oh,
crazy.
okay, but you know about this one or this one. I was like, no, okay, I'll check it
Yeah.
out. Like, yep, okay.
Yep.
Do you remember pulling anything in particular out of Plan 9's basement that you were like, oh man, like came up?
Damn. Wow, it was so long ago. Phew. Man, it was a lot of stuff. A lot of man, I can't even remember, man, but I just remember there being an abundance of breaks down there
Mhm.
that the records were so cheap. I was just taking chances on a lot of stuff,
Mhm.
and just coming up. This is before you know what it is, man. Like the 99, 2000 era, there was no internet like that. So we was just experimenting, just getting stuff and figuring it out. But
Mhm.
yeah, there was a lot of gems down there. I remember that what was that? It was like a marching band. New Orleans something funk. It's a drum break. It has a white cover with the something. One of them joints. But yeah, that was down there.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's still pretty cheap record, but I can't even think of the name of it. But yeah.
I remember being big on like 1974 was like I felt like I had
Hmm.
everything I had heard. I was like, I love that year. Like,
Yeah.
funk was like hadn't quite gotten into disco yet, and like,
Hmm.
75 and beyond, I felt like was just disco and like wasn't really like giving me much. But as the
Yeah.
years went on, I totally regret anything I passed on from late 70s and especially 80s stuff. I was like, man, like I I know I slept on certain stuff that now, I would really love. There's
Hmm.
like a lot of boogie stuff I think I really slept on there that I could have picked up.
Yeah. Nah, I was getting it. I always avoided 76. For some reason, 76 was like terrible. Terrible. I think the only thing I remember liking from that time period was Niece Williams Free.
Mhm.
That dropped in set for some reason I remember that being something that dropped in 76. But anything
I
else, man, the sound of that era was kind of weird.
I remember finding stuff in other sections, beyond like funk and soul or even rock and stuff. Like sometimes people would stash stuff in classical or soundtracks, right? And like it's like
Yeah,
if you stay in there all day,
yeah,
on the stuff that people try and hide or leave behind.
yeah.
Um,
Plan that. Amazing.
can you tell us about some of the events you've been a part of and like what you enjoy most about this aspect of like your work?
Um, yeah, I've been part of course, stuff with you guys down there. I think that's where the term chemical breakdowns came from. Was one of the gigs that we did. Um, Marty, I believe it was Marty, put it on the flyer. That we something that we were doing, and it had oxygen chemical breakdowns on it. And I was like, oh, that's dope. Stealing that, stealing it. But yeah,
Shout out to Marty.
yeah. Besides the Marty Free, um,
I miss Steady Sounds.
yeah, man.
Plan 9 Part 2, Electric
Mhm.
Boogaloo.
Absolutely. Yeah, Richmond in general, man. I gotta give y'all love. Richmond and Petersburg, yo were a good part of my coming up too. Big shouts to Cut Wizard Al B. Just stepped in the room too. It's my partner from day one. Um, yeah, the events here, the Wax Fundamentals situations are always nice. It's kind of like family reunion every time. Um, Yeah, yeah, of course, the nights I get down with Bruce, my man Bruce Phillips here, he's amazing. He's from Pennsylvania originally, but he's a little bit younger, but his he knows, you know what I'm saying? He's like the equivalent of me from, you know, we have very similar styles and tastes. So
Like a
yeah,
little
big
little
shots to him.
brother.
Yeah, man, he's a dope DJ too. So
What's the one where you had, I think it was 45s and you had, I wanna say, oh, yeah, it was Spread Love on one turntable, and I think the Soul to Soul drums on the other
oh
one.
yeah, yeah. That was a Wax Fundamentals
That was
gig.
Wax Fundamentals? Okay.
Yeah, at JB's. Big shouts to JB's Records, JB's Record Lounge here. Um, yeah, wow, that was in his old location. So this was some years ago.
Yeah, I love that. I love that video and that routine. I love the energy in the room, man, like, you doing your
Mm,
thing. Just love all
Yeah,
everything about
I was just trying it out too, and it worked.
that.
Which I need to drop that again. That was a good. What was it? The Super Lover C Casanova. I think the yeah. Who put the somebody put the Super Casanova. I mean Super Lover C45 out, and they put the instrumental on the flip,
Mm.
and I just slowed it all the way down, and that spread love that weaved in there pretty deliciously.
Sorry, I thought it was the Soul to Soul. I thought it was the Fair Play drum loop maybe.
Nah, that
Instrument.
was the Impeach the President, whatever that one is, where they did the Impeach the President beat.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
So the one with Bruce Phillips, that's was it Unidade or Unidade?
How you say Unidade? Something. It's like it's unity in Portuguese.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But
never heard that.
yeah. So we're together with TSOB Productions, Two Shades of Black, and yeah, man, we just bring it every time.
It looked like
Always.
the venue may be changing for that.
Yeah. So we had a residency every third Friday at this spot here. Actually, they hit us up again. They want us to come back, but with all this stuff going on with my sister and everything, we just wanted to take a little break for the summer and get some things intact. So, but yeah, we'll be back. But yeah, that residency ended a couple of weeks ago.
Hmm.
I was a little sad about, man. It was just starting to build up. We did it for 6 months, and it was during the winter, which was kind of tough getting people to come out there.
Yeah. What would your ideal gig look like or be like vibe, venue, crowd, all that?
A basement party. So
Mhm.
freaking back in the early '90s, my man Romaine and Smash, they used to spin at a spot called Save the Robots. It was a alphabet city. It was like Avenue C in Manhattan, and there was one way in and one way out. It's like a death trap. I want a spot like that, fam. Like that was the best. That was probably the best time I had in my life going to that spot. And it was after hours, like it was late night. So you get out like 8 in the morning, and the sun's up, and you kind of like holding your eyes and shit. So yeah, I wanna spend like a grimy like basement type spot like that.
Was it hip hop? Was it all hip
Nah,
hop?
this Save the Robots was house. It was
Mm.
just like house, man. It was the most incredible shit. If anybody knows about Save the Robots, y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that was. I wanna do stuff like that. I don't even know if there's a spot here in Atlanta like that, but I want to find one.
Yeah, speaking of Atlanta, as an artist who's experienced different music scenes across the country, what do you think sets Atlanta's music scene apart? How has it embraced your artistic vision?
Um, mm, cause it's black. Like it's black as shit down here.
I was
Yeah,
wondering how long we were going to beat around the bush on that one.
yeah. Like stop playing. Like it's, this is beautiful, man. Like these are my people. I feel totally at home here. So it just feels it's like a more. It just seems like a more family vibe. When you do stuff here than other places, man. And it just feels good. You know what I'm saying? It's just a good feeling here. But I don't know. I really haven't played too many other places in the states. I did Richmond and played a couple of times. I used to live in Charlotte, so I used to do stuff in Charlotte. Um,
You lived in California for a little bit too, right?
yeah, did Cali for a minute.
But you
Um,
maybe didn't perform or do any shows out there.
nah, I didn't spin out there until a few years ago. I did what's the jam? Something going on out there. the Funky Soul,
Yeah,
that's
Funky Soul.
patio Funky Soul out there. That was cool.
Hmm.
But yeah, so man, I ain't no DJ like that, man. Like I'd just be playing records. You know what I'm saying? I ain't in no high demand situation where people really gonna want me. Come on. You have so many options. Why would you need me? You know? But nah, it's a lot of fun, man. I always enjoy just, playing the stuff that I find because I'm always finding records. You
Hmm.
know, like digging is a daily operation, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
Saying like I try to pop in a spot or thrift store or whatever like every day because you
Hmm.
never know. So and you can never have too many records. So there's that.
Shout out to Funky Soul.
Mm,
Um, so we talked a lot about what you know, kind of maybe you're known for or what you like. What about like guilty pleasures? Do you have any guilty pleasures, like things that people might be surprised to know that you like or are really into or dig on?
um, Drake. I'm a huge Drake fan.
I think I've seen you post about that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I like Cardi B a lot. Uh, them too. That's about it. Drake and Cardi B.
And then Queens of the Stone Age, you're big on them, right?
Nah,
Not so
not
much.
not Queens of the Stone Age. Um, nah, I've been getting into. Ooh, man, I've been getting
Is it
into.
System of a Down? Is that who I'm thinking of?
I almost wore this SOAD shirt today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
System of a Down. Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah, I love System of a Down. Oh man, who was I checking out? Ooh, it's gonna come to me. But it's like another alternative rock band that man, incredible. Like being from Long Island, man, it's just my styles are all over the place. I don't really like we listen to everything. So it was
Hmm.
just one of them places where, you know, everybody was exposed to everything. So yeah, digging is always fun when I go out, especially when people think I'm supposed to be looking for one thing and you walk in the shop and they're like, hey, the soul's over there. I'm like, all right, bet, that's cool. I'll get I'll get
Hmm.
there eventually.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, then I blow their minds. But yeah,
Who would you
music.
like to collab with that you haven't?
Um, Buck Wild. Like, there's only a couple of producers that would make me rhyme again.
Hmm.
If I did a joint with Buck, he's probably one of my favorite producers, man. Um, uh, let me think. Even on the house tip, like I wouldn't mind doing some house stuff again.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I like what my man Stefan Ringer's doing. This cat Stefan Ringer here. Um, yeah, like his sound, Bus Crates will be another one. Um,
Shout out to Bus Crates.
yeah, Boogie Bus, stuff like that. Like I'm my style, like I don't have the normal rap style, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of I can go anywhere the beat takes me, but I'm a big house head too. Like
Hmm.
it's one of my first loves. So yeah, give me some house. Cut Wizard Al B. I know he's sitting on some. He's still in the chat. I know he's sitting on some beats. Y'all put the pressure on him.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
What you had connected with Lord Finesse a couple times. Is you
Hmm.
gonna push him to do something with you, or he's just cooled out and DJing?
Yeah. What is Ness doing? I haven't talked to Ness in a minute. But yeah, we connected on the when I was rocking with Rich from Slice of Spice during them early 20 teen eras. Yeah, but yeah, Ness is a cool dude, man. That's my man.
Looking ahead, like what are your goals and aspirations for like the future of your music career, and what can fans expect next from Oxygen?
So I've been doing a little bit more beat making, which is kind of something I've always been doing, but I never owned any machines. So I kind of had a lot of ideas of things I wanted to do. So I just started getting into the beats right during the pandemic. So working on a project now with my man Kevin Beecham, aka 7 times 3 equals 21. That's his rhyme name. So we got a project. We call ourselves Signs in Math, SYNZ in Math, and we trying to wrap that up. It's on me now. I gotta get cracking with these
Mhm.
beats, but
Mhm.
yeah, that should be coming before the fall. Working on that, and then I just want to start stockpiling beats, man, and try to get some placement. Work with some heads and just get nice with that, because I don't know if I'm gonna be picking up the mic like that. If I do, it's just gonna be. I told cats I'll do hooks, choruses,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
yeah, full on rhyming, nah, not feeling it.
Masterminds in effect was one thing that we didn't really talk too much about, and I wanted to
Yeah,
touch on it real quick before we wrap up. Can you talk about that? That came out of a demo, but then you turned it into a project more recently, right? Or a collaboration.
yeah. So that was Odyssey and me, my man Tone. So we call ourselves Masterminds in Effect. So we want to do just collab on some production on the beat side, and yeah, Tone he's working on he's doing some other things right now. So we didn't really get to do what we wanted to do with that, without putting all his business out in the street. But yeah, he's still around, and eventually we'll get back to it. But in the meantime, I'm just staying productive on my own, just trying to learn different things and seeing how this stuff works, man, because I'm always gonna be a student, just still always wanting to learn some stuff. And I want to
Class
play
of
an instrument.
Go ahead.
I want to play the sax or something. I want to ready to pick up an instrument too. Just get
Hmm.
down. Yeah,
Think about the flute, like
I ain't doing the flute,
Andre
bro.
3000.
Yerp, yerp. I let him hold that.
Was the
Zap.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Was the class of '87 B tape? Was that the most recent release?
Yeah, that was the last thing I worked on. Um, yeah, that was just something to kind of document my progress with the beats. um, and from that's actually how the project with Kevin and I came about. He's actually rhyming on some of those beats from that tape
Hmm.
that we, kind of redid them a little bit, but all in all, it's just you know, just one thing inspires another. So yeah, I need to do another beat tape too. I got some things, man. Y'all need to hear some stuff.
Who were like the producers that you see as big influences, but besides maybe Buck Wild?
Um, man, who am I into? Like Spinner.
Hmm.
Man, a lot of my taste, like that sound. I like what Spinner does.
Yeah, Bus Crates is a big DJ Spinna
Yeah.
fanboy. I think he's a
Mhm.
admitted fanboy of Spinna. And
Mm-hmm.
you've collaborated with Spinna, and that will be another
Yeah. Oh man,
project, or maybe
did a lot. Yeah.
did he have any production on Age Appropriate?
He did not. No. So age appropriate was
See,
that
what
was
I'm saying is
actually.
maybe an EP, right? You have Buck Wild produced one, Lord Finesse, DJ Spinna, right?
Mm,
Um, I don't know, just brainstorming.
yeah.
Joe Ron Bombay, that's four.
There you go.
Cut Wizard with the house track, maybe a five.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
I don't know, spitballing here.
Yeah, got you. I got you. I got you. Yeah, influences. I'm influenced by everything. Not even
Yeah.
so much only hip hop producers, man. I just listen to um, you know, everybody. The way Axel Rod put stuff together and you know, Don Blackman, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff
Hmm.
like that. You know what I mean? Just like
Hmm.
don't even necessarily have to be hip hop producers. You know what I'm saying? It's
Hmm.
just music is incredible.
Hmm.
And we have the freedom to do anything that we want to do. You know, there's a lane for everybody. So you don't really have to keep working with the same people and you know stuff like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm from the era where you want it to be different and sound
Right.
different. So yeah, that was the John Shaft in me. Yeah. So
I don't have any more formal questions, but I did want to talk about one statement or time. I think it would. I want to say you were overseas and on the bill with Public Enemy, and you talked to Chuck
mm,
D, right? And you said it was almost like he was interviewing you.
nah, that for Chuck D.
I
I
thought,
ain't.
didn't you talk to Chuck D?
Nah, I didn't.
I
I ain't
thought you
get to
met
see
Chuck D.
Chuck. Yeah, I met Chuck through Johnny Juice. Big shout out to my man Johnny Juice.
But I
Yeah,
thought
so
when you met him, you said it was almost like he was interviewing you, and you were like, "What is happening right now?"
nah.
No, I'm totally
Mm-mm.
wrong. Okay,
Yeah, that was way off, bro. Where'd you get that from?
I don't bad memory. I don't know.
Yeah, check your notes, homie. But
Okay,
nah,
sorry.
yeah, the first time I met Chuck was at his old house in Long Island. Um, the Public Enemy studio was behind, like they got it in the building behind this house, and I went to see Johnny Juice for something. Can't remember him. He was like, "Yeah, Chuck is here. He's in the crib." I'm like, "Yeah, bet. Let me meet him." So we walked in, and he was doing laundry. He was folding up socks, watching Baby Boy, and I remember how disgusted he was at that movie for some reason. Like that was the biggest thing I remember from meeting Chuck that time. But yeah, big shouts to Chuck D. But yeah, when we did the show, this was after. I mean, I did the show with Public Enemy before I met Chuck, and I was trying to meet him that night of the show. That was so unorganized, man. We did I did a thing in Dresden, Germany with LB Bad. He brought me out, and it was to open up for Public Enemy for the 25-year. They were on tour with Fear of a Black Planet, I think it was back then. And yeah, their locker room. I mean locker room. Their you know room was way down the hallway, and they had it was like security, everything. Like there was no way to get to them. I was like,
Mhm.
damn, I want to meet Chuck and Flave, which is kind of bugged out. But I did manage to get some of their food though. They had a nice spread out there. So that
Is
was
is Bomb Squad in Atlanta? Are they down there now?
I couldn't tell you. I
Okay.
don't know too much about Bomb Squad. Yeah, never met them guys. Hank
They
Shockley.
they but Public Enemy they have history in Long Island, right?
Hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. They're from Long Island.
It was Spectrum City, right?
Yeah. So
That
like,
was their like radio show, right?
hmm yeah. So um, yeah. PE's from I know Chuck. He's from Roosevelt. Um, Terminator X. I know is from Roosevelt. So yeah, they're all from Nassau County, that area.
Gotcha. I was just curious if like they were somebody you caught early on or heard early on, or if maybe Rakim was the biggest influence when you first heard him.
Yeah, it was mostly Ra and Biz, of course.
Mhm.
Biz he used to do a lot of parties at this firehouse out east in the town called Coram. Um, so right out of high school, I was doing security, and there was a game room out there at a Nathan's, a Nathan's hot dog spot, and so one of the guys that worked at the Nathan's, he would take us to these different parties in the area. And he was like, "Yeah, Biz throws these parties at this firehouse over here." So yeah, we used to hit him up after work, go to a couple of those parties on the weekend, which was incredible.
Mm.
Damn, that was oof. Yeah. Biz was one of the hardest working dudes in hip hop, man, especially on Long Island. He would
Mm.
visit all the high schools and hand out flyers and stuff
Mm.
to his shows. He was rocking with Mike and Dave back then too. So um yeah, Biz was everywhere. Everywhere there was hip hop, there was Biz.
Mm.
So shouts to him.
Right
Rest
on.
in peace to him.
Rest in peace for sure. All right. Well, that's it, man. I appreciate you taking the time.
Right on, man.
We're gonna put on some music and right out of here. Appreciate everybody listening in, checking in, dropping comments in the chat. Appreciate that. I'll be posting
Yes.
this up on my YouTube and SoundCloud and Mixcloud, hopefully, and Patreon. You got anything you want to mention before we go, Oxygen?
Nah, just follow me on Instagram, at ox_the. They're right there on the screen. Ox the Architect. Um, just hit me up anytime, man. I'm easy to get. I ain't, I don't know Hollywood shit. So
Cool.
if y'all need records, get at me.
I do need records.
I know you always need
Can
records.
never have enough records. All right. Thanks, Ox. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Peace.
Appreciate you, man. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Peace.